everyone, this is going to be probably a lengthy chit chat video, so get cozy, get comfy, and let's start chatting. So first of all, full disclosure, this video is sponsored by Therapeutics MD. I am working with them throughout the next year or so to create content that is geared specifically toward themes that are more relevant to the midlife stage of life. But as you will see with this video and all the rest that will be coming throughout the year, I think all of these topics are applicable to any stage of your life. And as the goal, if you're younger than me, if the goal is to age, which I think it is, age gracefully, but still age, then at some point, all of these topics will be relevant to you if we're all lucky enough, right? So the idea for this video came early in November. As many of you know, I have been a football mom for at least a decade, I think, if not longer. It has been a big focus of my life and my husband's life, and obviously my son's life. And while I am involved in other things, that has been, as a sports mom, period, it has been a constant in my life for the last 18 years almost. That part of my life has come to an end. Next summer, late summer, Michael and I, my husband, if you don't know me, will be empty nesters, and it's a new stage in life. A stage, honestly, I'm excited about, but like anything new, there is some trepidation. Anything that's uncertain will cause you stress. And I am a big believer in planning. So I feel like planning and researching and any kind of preparedness for something coming up will just make that situation so much more seamless and pleasant. So in planning, I wrote a few things out. So I thought it would be a great video, because I can't be the only one going through this new stage in life, to share what I would call planning for an empty nest. And even if you are years away from being an empty nester, or maybe you actually are an empty nester because you haven't started your family yet, I feel like all of these, especially because we're at the end of 2018, we're looking ahead to 2019, we're making our goals, our resolutions, what have you, I think this all fits together really, really well. So in true Marnie fashion, I have written out all kinds of things that I would like to share with you. If you don't know me, by the way, hello, my name is Marnie Goldberg, and I'm a YouTuber known as MsGoldgirl here on the internet. And my husband and I have been married for over 20 years, and we have two boys who are currently 17 and 20. And something that I picked up from Michael long ago, early in our relationship, is he firmly believes that if you don't write something down, it doesn't happen as far as goals and planning. Like if you have a goal, if you have a dream, if you have a plan, write it out or it's not going to happen. So the first thing you do is you need to write it down. I need to write things down, not just the big things, like the big picture things, like we all say, and I say it too, once I'm an empty nester, I'm going to travel more. That's a really big idea. Write your big ideas down, but then make bullet points under to be more specific. So let me share my list with you. One thing that I'm really concerned about as a future empty nester is that my social circle is different. So like I said earlier, I have been a football mom for the better part of my mom life. And so that meant that at least for the last decade, I knew every Thursday night during football season, I was going to see my football mom group for what we call polish and prayer the night before the game. I was going to sit with all my friends, the husbands, all of us are all going to be together on Friday nights at games. If it wasn't varsity season, it would be during the week we'd see each other. And then there's usually at least one other day during the week where the football parent group got together. That was a built-in social calendar. That's gone. So I need to be proactive and actually write it out, plan with my friends. So one thing that we have discussed is scheduling a monthly dinner on a specific night of the month, like the third Thursday of the month or whatever. So it's in everybody's calendar that we are meeting for dinner. We can narrow down where later, but whether it's at a restaurant, at each other's houses, just meeting for drinks or coffee, if that's the case, if we're all kind of busy that night, but making it a priority that we have to schedule out specific social events, just like the football schedule did for us. We need to do that for ourselves. Another thing that's on my list is to continue my learning, not just like learning how to do things here on YouTube, which is always fun, but like specific learning activities. Like I think every school district does this. I know ours does. They have a community education department where they send out I think it's quarterly or each semester at like adult programming where you can take all kinds of classes from learning how to knit, playing bridge, sporting stuff, self-defense, accounting, languages, you name it. So I'm going to make it a priority. As soon as that catalog comes out, I'm going to go through it and I'm going to find at least one class a semester that I'm going to sign up and take. And maybe it's not the community education piece. Maybe it's at a local cooking store that offers cooking classes, or something at your local library that they offer. But I am going to make it a priority to continue my learning in a more traditional kind of classroom setting. Maybe it's even auditing a class at one of our local universities, because now that I don't have to be in college, I'm kind of yearning for that classroom experience again. Another goal that I personally have once I become an empty nester and I don't have the distraction of this, I love having my kids at home, but I look forward to not having to rush and make dinner at a certain time or be somewhere for a scheduled event at certain times. It does free up a lot of time. So I really my big goal is I want my house organized. Now that's a really big goal. The bullet points of that is my goal is to go through every cabinet, every cupboard, every closet, every drawer, every shelf in this house, declutter, donate to charities if that's what it is, give away to friends, or just some of it's going to just have to be thrown out. But I want to have a streamlined, organized home, and I am giving myself a deadline, 1 year from when I come back from moving my kids into their university. 1 year from that date, I'm going to have it all done. I hope you guys hold me to that. Another thing on my bullet points here is more dates with my husband, Michael. But like I said, that's just a general statement. So I want to plan out specific things, not just date night, but or date day or date morning, but what activities you're going to do. Sometimes it could be we're just going to go see a movie. That's fine. It doesn't have to be this big, grand, expensive thing. But there's so many things in my city. I live in San Antonio. If you don't know me, you know me now. There's so many things that I wanted to be able to explore. A lot of them happened on Friday nights. That's usually when I would be at a football game. So there's a local rodeo that happens every Friday night, usually during football season. I want to go to that with him. There's a Segway tour that I want to do downtown and a kayaking tour that I want to do on the San Antonio River. Just all kinds of things. We are going to pencil it in on the calendar so it's there and it's scheduled, and we're going to make it a priority. Going back to my mom friend group, yes, those monthly dinners with our little core group are very important, but I also want to schedule specific activities similar to date activities with my husband. It's just the girl trips, and that doesn't mean we're all going to get on a plane and do spring break in Miami. That sounds kind of fun. But, the kayaking trip or the Segway tour or a wine tour up in the hill country, I think it's fun to plot out maybe once a quarter some big activities with a big group. And again, it's because having that, my whole adult life, I feel like we've revolved around that school calendar. We don't have to do that anymore. So, while sometimes it was stressful to have all that stuff, all those activities we had to be at or had to get our kids at, it also, gave us this built-in social life. So now we have to look at the flip side is we have this freedom from all that, but now we're gonna have to make that effort to find the big things to do together. Like I said at the beginning of this video, a big goal that Michael and I have had for as long as we've dreamed of the day of becoming an empty nester is to travel more. But that's like a really big statement, and that's easy to not make happen because I feel like you need a specific goal. So what I'd like to start doing before the kids leave in the next few months is to plan at least one trip in the fall of 2019. By we, I mean we all do not have to plan my trip, but Michael and I can sit down. We can sit at the computer and write out, brainstorm places we'd like to visit, and then look at guides online or go to the bookstore together. That could be a date night, and look through the travel guides there, make it a whole fun activity. But, and I'd love some input from you. I have some places. Some might just be a car trip. Some might require getting on a plane. Some might require a passport. And, in applying this to your own life, obviously apply it to your budget. I don't think these things have to be these grand ideas. We don't need to go on a world tour or, climb Mount Everest. That's actually not on my bucket list. It could be to explore a bed and breakfast that's just down the road from you that you've always wanted to check out. But when you have kids at home, sometimes it's actually impossible if you don't have, people around to keep an eye on your kids for you to get away. So, if more travel is important to you, a goal, keep in mind, it doesn't have to be a big thing. Okay, this is a little goal that I have, but I think a lot of you will get a kick out of this. And I want to read it word for word what I wrote down. It was re-examine my wardrobe and adjust accordingly, i.e. clear out all the high school spirit items. I have a lot of spirit wear for our high school in my closet that I wore 2-3 days a week. I'd like to hold on to some of the more sentimental pieces, but I know there are some moms of middle schoolers coming in that could definitely use the 9 years worth of high school spirit clothing that I've accumulated. So that will be finding a new home. And then of course, I'll have to fill my wardrobe with other things to wear. Okay, this is a little more health oriented, but I think it fits really well with we're at the end of the year and we're making resolutions and thinking about our health and wellness going forward. So this whole midlife thing, this menopause stage that's looming for some of us, or we're already in it, just like I'm researching travel plans and activities with my girlfriends, this is a part of my life that I know very little about. I'm almost embarrassed to admit how little we all learned about puberty and childbirth and raising children. There's all kinds of books and everybody's talking about it, but this whole menopause thing is still, there's a lot out there that I don't know a lot about. And I have always felt better, specifically in regards to my health, when I know about it before it happens. Something that's a goal just for 2019 is I want to learn more about what's ahead for me health-wise in regards to menopause, aging in general, maybe re-examine the doctors I'm visiting and find ones that line up more in where I am in my stage in life right now. And very important, make the appointments for 2019, the annual exams, the gynecologist exams, the dermatologist checks, all that stuff. Call the doctor's office and get those on the books for 2019. I think that's super important. And as women in particular, we are the worst about scheduling stuff for ourselves. Speaking of health and wellness, we all say this, so many people say this, I'm going to start working out in the new year. Well, that's a good goal. There's nothing wrong with it, but none of us are still in the gym come February. It just almost never happens. So I'm just going to say, instead of giving myself an unattainable goal, I am going to find a way to put fitness in my life as a priority, whether it's actually attending a gym class or going to the gym, which I'm still working on, or just getting out and walking more, just more activity, more fitness in my life. And I went and actually bought a snap-in dashboard for my planner where I can track how many glasses of water I've had, what I've eaten, any kind of physical activity I've done and for how long, because if I don't write it down and have to hold myself accountable, it's not going to happen. And then for me personally, and I think this can apply to many empty nesters or soon to be empty nesters, I'm thinking about my career, because suddenly I will have a lot more time to focus on that because I won't have to focus so much on the kids. And so this is going to be a period for me of reevaluation over the next year. What are my goals and plans for my career as a YouTube creator? Where do I want to go with this? What do I want to change? Is there new software or products that I need to buy or want to learn about? Are there workshops I want to attend? Is there new content that I should think about adding? Now that it's my life is going to be a little bit different. Are there other things I want to talk about? So I always like to say this, yes, I'm talking at you through the camera, but I don't want this to be a one-way conversation. I really believe, especially with topics like this, that we all have so much to add to this conversation. So there is a place to comment below. You don't have to talk back at me. Talk amongst yourselves. Let's keep this conversation going. If you're already an empty nester, is what I'm saying reasonable? What do you think of the idea of planning for an empty nest? Did you do it? Would you recommend it? What are some things that you discover that you really like about having an empty nest? Anything in particular about this subject that you want to talk about, this is your space to comment in that below. And then for those of you who are actually still watching this and are like 23 years old and wondering why you're still watching this, how do you think this applies to your current stage in life? Is this only a topic that 40 plus and up should be interested in? Or do you feel like this particular conversation applies at all to the stage of life that you're in? I'd love to get the feedback on both ends. So look forward to more content, about 3 or 4 more videos sprinkled through 2019 on content sort of like this. If you have any ideas or suggestions on those topics, I would love to hear from you as well. So make sure you are commenting. As always, thank you so much for watching my video. Thanks for choosing to spend some time with me. and I'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye.